I have many great associations with this building here. Two things. I came to this country from South Africa in 1956, and I went to the Webber Douglas School of Drama in 1957. And the Webber Douglas, which was in South Kensington for 50 years or more, is now part of the Central School of Speech and Drama, so that it is. And in 1965, I came to the Roundhouse when it was deserted, Centre 42 building, for an after party for the Beat Poets who were at the Royal Albert Hall in June 1965. So we all came after the Royal Albert Hall down here, and some of the poets were very drunk, and Allen Ginsberg, who was there from America, and he wasn't very pleased with some of the British poets. It was rather rude. And there was another party here for International Times in 66, which was the underground newspaper. And in February 1967, I staged in the Roundhouse, was still deserted, something called the Fletcher File, which is a theatre of action. It was something to get 3 people off a life sentence in prison, so from Birmingham. And we had to put, it was February and cold, we had to put special heaters in the empty building and bring seats in and a screen. And the event reached all the papers. And by the end of that year, the Fletchers, where we'd staged a demonstration outside Wormwood Scrubs, the Fletchers were let off there after 6 years of the life sentence. And we had a heading in International Times saying, "Arrest the Home Secretary, open the jails." It was a very anarchic time. And the Home Secretary then was Roy Jenkins, but we did help him get someone out of a prison sentence. And we're just waiting. I was here for 2 weeks in 67 for the Congress on the Dialectics of Liberation, which was a wonderful event here. I was the first person to buy a ticket for it. And Stokely Carmichael came over from the United States, Gregory Bateson, Allen Ginsberg again. It was organised by R.D. Lang, the psychiatrist or anti-psychiatrist, a psychoanalyst. And it was a magical place here. And there was my great hero, the philosopher Herbert Marcuse, who was the teacher of Angela Davis, the Black Power leader at Brandeis University. And as Herbert Marcuse had just been to the Berlin Commune in 67, and the students didn't quite like what he'd said. So when he came to the Roundhouse, they had Maoist slogans down the side of the wall there, saying, "Pass the liberation." And Marcuse was in his 70s then, and he was giving his wonderful speech because he wrote Eros and Civilization, One-Dimensional Man. And while he was speaking, someone got up from the audience and handed the elderly man a joint. And he held it in his hand. It was a protest, and he took a puff and he passed it round. So that Roundhouse was full of magic. There was the Living Theatre here, where the performance, which was Julian Beck and Judith Malina, and they would go among the audience, these long-haired wild actors, and the performance ended with everybody in the centre, all in one huge big group grope, you could call it. So everybody touched each other and lay in this big circle. So this is a magical place. I've seen the bowls of Bengal here, which are Indian musicians, and endless plays. And of course, this in 67 was the birthplace of psychedelia. People don't know. This was where all the UFO club was in Implosion. And Arthur Brown, the crazy world of Arthur Brown, he would come onto the stage from the top end and go right down with fire in his hair, singing, "I am the God of Hellfire." Yes, oh, I'm glad someone's been through the same similar experiences. And when he was doing that and all the psychedelic lights all around, Paul McCartney and his chauffeur were upstairs watching it, and the place was full of flower children with their painted faces and skirts made out of bedspreads, Indian bedspreads. So to me, This was the centre for alternative society in many ways. In time of terror, in time of strife, my inner soul bequeaths life to flow and grow and overthrow the dark demons that threaten and beckon my vibrant existential equilibrium. Therein lies the warm glow in the dark that banishes the ebbing tide of negativity and downside, giving it a berth far and wide. Be calm. Don't set off the bells of alarm, but radiate the gracious beam of light to turn darkness into light as day follows night, guided by the goodness of the heart and the mind. Who else but you to be kind and forgiving, living in the here and now, my compassionate soul brother, will lead you to a place where there's a warm glow that beams from my open heart to a place that is serene and sublime. Shine on, shine on, shine on. Into the bright light of enlightenment and joy.